Salut Forth Paladins, and welcome back to another episode of Starfleet Command. I'm Plus1. I'm Admiral Tarek of the dreaded HMS Hurdle, as we continue our campaign against the Lyran Star Empire, and we have been constructing quite the little mini empire over here. That is rather amusing. Someone pointed out in a previous episode that the name of our last dreadnought was the Exile, and we were creating our own little exile nation, and that most certainly appears to be the case. We are also on the hunt for a Monarch-class battleship carrier with an X-type refit, and so we've been constantly checking back into the shipyard, and unfortunately it appears to be incredibly rare. So until that happens and we actually run into one, we're just going to have to keep on keeping on until we actually manage to get what we want. So let us set out into space and continue to pressure the Lyran Star League. They are down to an Empire defense of 71. If I'm not mistaken, this is a homeworld assault here. Or not this specific mission, but this is their homeworld at this location, so we're going to bombard it and blast it and eventually annihilate it and turn it into ours. And once we do that, then we'll have, well, a huge economic boon, and maybe the Monarch-class battleship carrier will show up then. It'll be sort of, you know, the twilight of the campaign at that point, but better late than never, I suppose. So the Enigma mission, there is a random vessel that has been disabled out in the middle of space, sending out a distress signal, and we have shown up, as is someone else. And on board, there is stuff we can steal. Right there, that being the stuff, it is in this case medical supplies, or if you play as the pirates, it is the Vega drug. Not quite sure what the Vega drug does, but it is something that you attempt to steal and capture. So the goal here is to get to this and steal the stuff before he can get there and steal the stuff. Now the fun thing about this mission is if you spawn in the location that we did, the AI is going to focus on this frigate to the exclusion of literally everything. They will fire every single weapon they have at this frigate, up to and including every single plasma torpedo that a King Condor Romulan battleship can carry. Obviously not this guy. Even if you are right next to him about to shoot him in the back. It's amazing. It makes this mission, it makes whoever you fight on this mission much easier than they otherwise would be. And, well, it's a great mission because of it, because it allows you to kind of, well, abuse the AI in ways that they really shouldn't be abused. It is mean. So there is a random and fairly incredibly well-armed destroyer right here. He's got no less than 6 missile launchers on a frigate, or I suppose he's a destroyer. As, in addition to 5 phaser X's and just a metric ton, 6 to be in fact, point defense systems. That is rather amazing. The 1,000 Cuts is a perfect name for that ship. We're going to steal his medical supplies and then move on towards this Mauler because it's a STL. So that is a single tooth line, which means he's got a Mauler and nothing else. I do believe that we should be able to basically run him over. Now, at some point, the game is actually going to come in and just annihilate this, but that happens after several turns. I anticipate we're going to destroy him, turn around, and destroy this FDX before the game can actually get around to that. So STJ, or SJX. Oh, maybe not a Mauler. I still think it's a Mauler, just because S, which always, single-tooth Jaguar, that's it. So it'd be an STJ, but they had to put in the capital X. That's my assumption. I could be wrong. I am not. Haha. So he has a single Mauler, which he will employ not against us, but against the FDX. Which means what we're about to do is illegal in several states, but he deserves it. He's deploying a suit of frigate complement already. Slow down a bit. Point blank range. You're not dead. I'm impressed. Okay. Let's slow down and turn on in. I take it back. We may have to take a little bit longer than I thought we would in order to take this on. Now, to be fair, quite a lot of his firepower is wrapped up in his Mauler. He's got the battery there for it. Let's jump the fighters to take out his everything. And they'll just blast away. That's the first one down. Oh, we're being caught in the explosion of the blast, but that's okay. If they kill the other one, I'll be perfectly happy with it. And just look at all the love that they give. Oh, I'm so happy to have these little fighter groups there. Just fantastic for cleaning up the enemy. We're going to just get a little bit closer. We'll nail him with all the firepower we got. Not quite enough, but the fighters should be able to clean this up in relatively short order. We'll have them fully sorted, and then we can go on and take care of this. And it is for that reason that I'm not calling my fighters back immediately, because I do anticipate we'll have enough time to pull them back before the mission actually ends. So, final phaser barrage was all that was required. We've taken them out in their entirety. Return to me and return to me. And then we'll just start heading over towards this FDX and possibly kill it. Maybe not, but there's a decent chance we'll have. Come on, return back to the ship. You are right there. Don't make me have to repeat myself. There and there. Okay, lovely. Like Maverick and Cougar, he would not leave his wingman. He had to wait, make sure his buddy got home first, which, you know, made sense because he was the damaged one. So we're just going to come right on in here, and the game took care of it for us. Just like the game destroyed our Dreadnought the Exile, it has destroyed our enemies here as well. Oh wait, we have Phaser X's, duh. I had forgotten for a moment that we had Phaser X's, and so I did not overload them. That's probably the reason why he survived. So 392 prestige was our reward. Leave. Ooh, it's taken a while to leave and come back. Oh, nope, we got a diplomatic delivery. Okay, somebody's been hearing about all of our stuff, or maybe the homeworlds has decided to send it, because Hydran culture is feudalistic. So it could be that we are actually creating our own little mini empire on the opposite side of Lyran space, and that's totally okay. We're becoming the lord of whatever this is. We need to come up with a fiefdom name. And we're being escorted by an XDV on this one, the Determination, an excellent name, and facing off against a new command cruiser. No other enemies in sight, it would appear. Let's increase speed time. We have quite the distance to get to him, and we can't go very fast as long as we're overloading all the weapons. And we're going to actually do that, overload all of the weapons, including the phasers. So every single weapon on the ship is now being overloaded. We're going to go up to a 4 and a 2. Get our... Oh, no, I want a 4 and a 2. All situated for full-on combat. How much power do I have for free? Not a whole ton, but I can sap some of that from the shield budget, so we can start getting moved on. So an XDV is a fairly decent support ship. He is equipped, of course, with 2 Hellbores and no less than 2 Gatling 2 phasers, which are quite powerful. And then he backs that up with another pair of Gatlings, and then he backs that up with... Is that another pair of Gatlings? No, it's another pair of Phaser 4s, or Phaser X's. So not a terrible ship at all. Planking away, skirmishing with the NCA, and his fighter group coming out. Surprising amount of fighters for a ship so small, but then again, that's Hydrans for you. So I think we'll be able to annihilate the Scimitar in basically one pass. We just got to get within range. I'm kind of surprised he hasn't opened fire with his ESG just yet, but I anticipate that'll happen soon. We do need to get within a range. There we go. We needed to get within a range of 8 to make sure that we could actually fire our Hellbores in order to pop his ESG should he attempt to use it. Yeah, we weren't really needed in this fight at all. We just watched a destroyer kick the crap out of a heavy cruiser. There we go. So a perfect little mission there. No other targets? No other targets. Green alert and full power and maximum speed of time. We have a diplomat to deliver. He needs to come to our round table so we can discuss terms or something like that. Yeah, we definitely need to come up with a name for our little fiefdom. I wonder if you guys have any idea about that. That would be interesting. The fiefdom of whatever this channel would be. I mean, to name it the fiefdom of Tarak just would seem a little bit megalomaniacal. So we should come up with a name together, perhaps, for however much longer this campaign lasts. We have been cutting through it quite nicely, quite efficiently. And we're going to pull into his dot, make sure that we don't actually smash into the planet, as that would be very bad. It turns out hitting planets not so great for your health in this game. Let's come over here to the transporter. There you are. And beam over Mr. Diplomat. All is well. We have deployed our diplomat. He will now attempt to extol the virtues of allowing us to continue as our own little empire that is growing to nearly the size of the Hydran Empire itself. Or perhaps we're the lost colonies in enemy territory? Don't think that quite works. 280 prestige is, of course, our reward. And I'm going to stop back here because we were 1 tile away and because I really want my gosh darn carrier. Oh, I don't think I'm asking too much, but apparently they clearly think otherwise, because we are still not getting our battleship. X-type ships galore, but not our battleship carrier. It is what I desire. We have actually, to be fair, we have turned down quite a few battleship choices. We've run into the MNR, MNRX, the Monarch class battleship. It has 2 additional Hellbore cannons, and that's it. Oh, and it only carries 8 fighters instead of 20, is it? A significantly smaller fighter complement and only a couple more heavy weapons. It is one of the less impressive of the battleships when compared to its battleship carrier. So we're being escorted today by the Vizier and squaring off against a CCHX. So I believe that's a Cheetah Heavy Command Cruiser, and it is just a standard PL, so there is no actual defenses on that planet. So we shouldn't have too hard of a time of actually taking care of it. Let us just suck all weapons and overload them all, so that we're fully prepared for whatever combat we're about to run into. Make sure that we also set up everything else on the ship, because there's actually quite a bit to actually set up. And there's also a light cruiser off in the distance. What form are you? You are an SJX, so we have another Mauler off in the distance. Honestly, Mauler is probably a decent idea to send up against us. If the AI knew how to use it, it would be deadly, because it could just slice through any one of our shields and immediately start causing major problems for us. Unfortunately, the AI doesn't quite understand how it's supposed to work and fires it at maximum range for half damage, which means it'll deal like 20-ish. I mean, it's a decent amount of damage, don't get me wrong, but it's not the 96 damage that you can potentially do. I believe the Mauler is a 40, yeah, the Mauler is 48 for a Mauler battleship, the Single-Tooth Lions. I'm a fan of the Single-Tooth Lions. They were quite a nice battleship, or not a battleship, they're a dreadnought. There is a bit of a distinction in this game, but the Single-Tooth Lion dreadnought was sort of the main ride that we would roll in this game when we would play Lyrans, because you could do 96 damage in one shot with a Mauler, which that cuts through literally anybody's shield. You do not hold up against that. The AI will not use it at that range, and I'm not quite sure that the Single-Tooth Jaguars can quite do that. I think they are a little bit more limited. Maximum range. Vive would you do this? And then he just barreled right on into the ESG. Oh my god, do you have a death wish? Please stop. You're getting yourself murdered for literally no reason. He should have formed up with me, gotten in behind me, and then we could have done it together and annihilated him. Because I may not even get the chance. His fighters may do it for me. Lyran fighters are just, or not Lyran fighters, Hydran fighters are just absurdly good. He's coming in with his Gatling phases for a little bit more damage. The Ripping Fang is about to understand an entirely new world of hurt. And you're trying to pull away from me. I'm waiting until the numbers stop getting lower. And then, we're just getting closer and closer, which means better fusion cannon shot. And I'm willing to get closer and closer for it. Slow down a bit, and fire. One salvo. Now, to be fair, his fighters also just completely gutted him. But one salvo. Fighters, let's go. We're going to launch you into the middle of this. You're going to have some fun with them. We're going to make sure we set our Hellbores back down to normal mode. Because if we don't, then we're going to have problems. Fighters immediately opening fire with their own Hellbores, doing a tremendous amount of damage. Absolutely loving it. Make sure the phasers are on overload. And he is putting up a huge attack shift on us. But I don't think that's going to last much long should our fighters continue their glorious work of just continuing to knock down all of his shields. Hi, I'm at a really decent range to fire a lot of good weapons at you. So stand still. It's only light damage. 69 plus an additional from our fighters just strafing through, blasting him into little tiny pieces. He just does not stand a chance. Just a testament to how devastating Hydran fighters truly, truly are. I would try and capture the ship. Unfortunately, if I were to try that, the Vizia would destroy him. 52 only out of that one? I'll kill him before he can turn on the ESG. Thank you. Fighters are amazing. Come home, guys. Let's get back on board. So we'll get ourselves fully kitted out on this one. The planet cannot defend itself. Literally. Well, okay, not literally. If we get extra super close to it, the planet can actually defend itself. The planet won't defend itself because we're not going to get extra super special close to him. We're going to sit at range, and then we're just going to plink away. And by range, I mean a distance of just beyond 3. This particular planet is just a PL something. Doesn't really matter which PL it is. PL 16, in case you were wondering. Which means the only thing it's got is these 8 phaser 3s. Which means as long as you're outside of a range of 2.99, it literally can't shoot at you. Which is really powerful. Because all we're going to do is we're going to just set ourselves up just outside that range and just bombard them with everything we got. Now, we can't bring our Gatling phasers into the fight, unfortunately. But everything else we can just lay into this planet like it's nobody's business. So we're going to move up, park outside the range, blast into it, and knock it down a couple of pegs, and that'll allow us to take it. So drifting on in, we don't want to go too fast because we don't want to hit the planet. Hitting the planet is bad, in case you were also wondering. Hitting planets will actually cause you to explode, because planets are much, much bigger than you, and they will kill you. You don't want to play bumper cars or sumo wrestling with planets. They're very good at it. And I'll stop. Okay, 3.1 is a good enough distance. All of them select. So 145 plus 1. Not terrible amount of damage. And we just keep up the fire. Over and over and over. Let's go check out the Marine complement. How many you got left? Down to 13, so we killed 7 of them. I believe they start with 20. So we're just going to keep pounding them again and again and again, and eventually they will fall. Down to 4. We've almost got the planet. We reduce it down to 2, because that's the minimum value that you can get the Marines to without sending it over your own Marines. Send over the Marines. Okay, planet taken. Successful. I mean, it hasn't happened yet, but it's going to, because we've got 4 Marine teams versus their 1 Marine team. So we have 20 guys to their 5 guys, which, okay, they're going to make us a fantastic burger. Oh, no, they're gone. Oh, well. So much for that burger. Just wait for this all to happen down, and they will secure all the important vacation spots on Hawaii, the planet. I mean, look at it. It's Hawaii, the planet. Or maybe Midway, the planet. What does that make us, then? Because we've just conquered it. Well, we'll find out later. We made 670 prestige for that one because planetary assaults are particularly lucrative. Empire defense is down to 61 because that's where most of their empire power comes from. Pop right back on, and it's a shipyard assault, of course. Because we had a lot of fun with this one, but now we've got to go to a shipyard assault, which is less fun. Alright, all hands to battle stations. We're squaring off against a dreadnought, as well as a heavy cruiser being escorted today by the Bone Hammer. I shall consult the bones. The bones say nothing. Okay, all weapons locked and overload. Now that I've gotten my obligatory Matt Colville reference out of the way, we are just going to charge absolutely everything we have on this boat, because we're about to get into a dogfight with a fairly large, powerful, and moderately scary ship, a dreadnought. Now, it is only a DNX, and we are a heavy dreadnought, which means we've got a little bit more firepower compared to him, but he does have a buddy in the form of this heavy cruiser, which is an NSR. NSRs, from our experience, are actually quite nice. All we've got is an NCC, a new command cruiser, and this new command cruiser only has 6 missile launchers, which for a Merak ship is... okay, actually, the number of launchers themselves is reasonable. The fact that none of these are Mervraks is the problem. Means he's only going to be able to put out 6 missiles at a time instead of 11, 13, 44 potential missiles at a time. And if you don't know about that, you need to watch our Merak season, which was not last season, was it? Yes, it was last season. So watch last season, season 12, the Merak campaign where we took on the Romulans, and you will see just what sort of utter devastation a Merak ship can wreak on the enemy. It is amazing, it is lovely, and it should not be underestimated. We are about 4 and 2. That'll set us up right nicely. This NSR has already started to engage us. He has a pretty decent number of disruptors, which will hurt quite a bit. But we're going to try and get away from him and engage our buddy, the Dreadnought, because he's our counterpart. We'll let these two fight it out. I'm not quite sure where the NSR matches against the NCC. I think the NSR is better. A little bit. I'm fairly certain that his, whatchamacallit, thingamabob, who'samowats, that his shielding is better than the NCC. But I could be wrong on that, especially as long as the Dreadnought's shooting into his back. Apparently not. That's definitely gonna... no? He's just gonna take it? Okay. Well, in that case, he's got a good chance. If the enemy's just gonna allow him to shoot at him, then absolutely he has a chance of making this happen. We're not gonna deploy our fighters yet. Our fighters are a second-line assault. Oh no, I can't support this. Turn away, turn away, turn away! No! Don't go into it! That was a terrible, terrible mistake. Why would you do that? It takes us a while to get places. Yeah, that just got him out of any chance of winning. He could have won. He honestly could have defeated the Bloodspiller, and now he's not going to. Get back here! Oh, for God's sake. Fighters, go bail him out. I'm going after the Dreadnought. I've used most of my heavy weapons and I'm not charging them at any rate, but hey. Or well, most of my phasers I'm not charging them at any decent rate, but hey. I've got Hellbores and I've got fusion cannons. Let's make a deal. Fusion cannon! Oh, thank God. The reactions of a fox. Clearly. So anyway, I got another fusion cannon, all just with your name on it. Hellbores back to normal mode. Fusion cannon, come back to me. Come on, give me the fusion shot. I'm like perfect range for it. There we go. Oh, he's about to hit us even more. Dropping speed, build some... that didn't work. Get under the mine? Couldn't get under the mine, but we're okay. We're doing fine. I would, however, like our buddy to show up soon. Let's see. I need Marines. Hit and runs. I would like you to remove this. Thank you. Okay, lovely. So we've knocked out his ESG. He can't do that to us again. So really, he's dangerous. But we are, well, we've really laid into him. There's not much danger actually that he presents. Oh, crap. We've got incoming. So there are Klingon repair docks. How you doing, guys? A defender ship destroyed. Lovely. Okay, come home.
Returning now.
Daddy's worried about you. Phasers. Give me more power. I need to stop having it behind me. Turn this way. We need to get some maneuverability going again, so we need the power. I need to patch the engines. I want that phaser back online. Stop putting holes in my ship. And we've got incoming. Oh, the fighters are in great shape. Okay, never mind. Fighters, go kill. Never mind. Go kill. Please. Please help. Oh no, he's got... Okay, so I wasn't able to do as much as I would like to, but I think that's his last gasp. It was. Okay, fighters, come home. Your friend should be back soon. We'll put the fighters in point defense mode, and that... Oh god. Defenses, turn them on. I've only got a couple of tractor beams, so I can't handle just all of this in the universe. Especially with my Gatling phaser down, it's a little bit important for my point defense plan to have all my Gatling phasers. Fighter squadrons, how long until you're back up? It's gonna be a little while. So the NCC managed to survive, barely. I'm not gonna drag him into the fight. He's out of this battle. He's done. He has contributed all he will contribute. So the plan will be to launch our fighters in defense mode so that these Stardocks can't actually stop us. I'm also tempted to launch one of my shuttles and put it in defense mode, and then I will tractor beam it around with me, but I'm not quite there yet. And defend me. Get out and go. Okay, now that we have our fighter cover, he should have no trouble shooting down all the incoming missiles, right? Thank you. Lovely, we have a combat air patrol. So we'll let him go do that. Our next fighter squadron we're going to do the exact same thing with. He's just going to stay nice and close to us and defend us from all the missiles. So that will cover our flanks quite nicely. We'll let the Klingons basically run themselves dry on ammo while we repair the ship, because there is quite a bit to repair. He got in behind us and he did a pretty decent number on us. He didn't break the ship by any real means. He did damage us, though, by a not inconsiderable amount. Fix up the electronic countermeasure system as well, because apparently that's causing issues. And we'll just keep shooting down all your stuff. Eventually you will run out of ammo. That is a guarantee. So we're at full power now. 15 points of forward shield, and we are just barely gotten to the green. But our shield is recovering. Please don't engage that. I don't want you going anywhere near it. Oh, but you are going for that. So as long as we all stick close together, they won't have enough firepower to break us. Lovely. I don't actually need them to use their Hellbores. All I need for them to do is to keep their phasers available for me. Fusion cannons, we're within range to use. Torn apart. Good. Next target. And he has just a ridiculous amount of point defense, right? How many are you packing? I take it back, you've only got one left. He used to have a ridiculous amount, he used to have 4, but that's not going to serve him all that well. So let our fighters just hang out, protecting us in the best way that they know how. They are Hornets after all. I was about to say Hornets aren't really fleet defense fighters, but then again, after the Tomcats got retired, well, they kind of were. They were the only thing they had left. But hey, so let's get right on top of him and nail him with all of our firepower. They should be out of Hellbore shots. They may have one more, but if not, they've got their Gatling phasers, and that's lovely. Okay, which one are you? We're gonna call you home.
Return to ship.
Okay, and target the last FRD. So you know what? Both of you come home. Because I am 90% positive that he is out of missiles. So we want to make sure that both of them are home. Yes, come back into the landing pattern, and you're back on board. Return to me, please.
Returning now.
Come back in. You can come home. That's the goal here. Perfect. Okay. Lovely. They only needed to be told twice for once. So that actually worked out quite nicely. Kick on the speed. We're going to come in. Yeah, he really does not have a whole heck of a lot of capability left. The fact that he dove right into the middle of that ESG was just... It was painful to watch him have to do that. But, well... He survived, and that's definitely a point in the favor of... I was about to say Marak Engineering, but Marak Engineering I wouldn't necessarily say is super high-end. They're not like Federation levels, after all. Hi. Not quite dead, but mostly. So you know what? Let's just pull into a bark. We're good here. Almost dead. Marines. Hi. Yeah. Weapons. Half power. All weapons select. There we go. Oh, of course. Of course. Trying to save you, keep you from dying. And of course, what do? You shoot at my stuff. So we're going to capture it. We're going to get a little more prestige for it. We don't really need the prestige. If I'm completely honest, we are above 20,000 at this point. We're starting to reach levels where we can buy 2 battleships. Not quite there yet, but we're getting there. And that's kind of a bit of... It's not a problem, but it is a bit of an amusing thing to have to worry about. Alrighty, so that made us 605, which is quite nice. Lock that down. The planet is down to an Empire defense of 56. We shall have it soon. But let's stop back home to a nice friendly planet. Hi, shipyard. I happen to be looking for a Monarch-class battleship carrier. Can you provide, please? Pretty please. Cherry on top? No, I should have gone for ice cream in the middle first. Unfortunately, still no Monarch-class battleship carrier, but we're going to have to wait for that. Anyway, that'll do it for today's episode. I have been Turek. If you like what you've been seeing, hit that like button and subscribe if you want to see a notification every time I post one of these videos. Press that little bell icon. Leave a comment, and I will see you all in the next episode.